Just this past week, Disney raised their theme park prices again.
Yeah.
The average ticket to go to a Disney theme park is now like $125 per person. It's getting expensive, but there's a reason it's expensive to go to Disney, and we'll figure that out for you because John and Nancy are still talking. So about 20 years ago, I guess I was speaking at a conference in Orlando. And, it was a conference, so there's people there from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, it would kind of turn from a conference into a party, right?
Sure.
Everybody's done for working for the day. You're at Disney. We were staying on a resort property.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurants are full. The patios are filled with people. It's lovely evenings, and everybody's drinking and smoking. And yes, you could smoke 20 years ago at Disney. You probably can't now, but you used to be able to. Anyway, and it was kind of a mess. I mean, there's garbage and there's food.
Yeah, you go to bed and there's just a mess
and
left.
you finally taper off and you go, okay, good night, everybody. See you. And there's still a party going on, and then you go to bed. You wake up the next morning, and that party is gone. And I mean gone. Like the ashtrays are polished. The grass is cut all to the same height. It's extraordinary. Disney.
No sign there was a party
no
there
sign
the
that
night
there was
before.
a party,
Yeah.
not let alone a party, that any humans were even there. It was amazing to me. It was so striking that it actually stopped me in my tracks, and I went, this is a little creepy. It was
That's what makes it the most magical place on earth, right?
Do you remember the movie Westworld? Where, you'd go into the western town and everybody was a robot and you'd be a cowboy and shoot people and blah, blah, blah. And then at night, the Westworld people would come out and clean up all the mess. It was kind of like that.
Okay.
But it was so striking. And you're exactly right. When you want to get that magical feeling, that's what money does for Disney.
Well, that's why people pay so much to go down there. I mean, even of us complaining about, it costs so much to go to Disney. People go back. I know people who will go back every year because they love the magic of Disney World.
And that's the difference right there. It's magic. So I've been to Six Flags a bunch of times. I've never felt magic at Six Flags.
Nope.
I've had a good time. Don't get me wrong.
Course,
and it's a fine theme park, but I've never felt magic. But at Disney,
you do.
You feel the magic. And here's some things. There was an article we just picked up on the other day about what it takes to have that magic be consistent all year round, all the time at two different Disney properties in the United States. It's expensive
and
it's time consuming.
Yeah, it's not just even in the United States. Yeah.
Good point. So these are just a few things that you probably never knew about Disney World that creates the magic for you. Now, first off, we were just talking about the garbage. There is no garbage at Disney. I mean, seriously, you walk around. Every other theme park in the world, you walk past full garbage cans, and in the back of your brain, you go, someone should empty that garbage. Never happens at Disney. Now, here's why. And this is absolutely true. So Walt Disney himself, back in the day, he would get a hot dog and then eat it while walking. And he would count the steps until he finished his hot dog, and that is where the next garbage can should be. So in his mind is I want to have the garbage cans spread apart from the concessions and things that produce garbage so that when you finish whatever it is and you have a wrapper, there's the garbage can.
It's right there ready to go.
And it's right there waiting for you.
So people won't throw their garbage,
right.
out.
And that was Walt Disney. So that's way back when,
Yeah,
the 50s probably. But they still use that today. Modern designers have kept the idea in place, and all these years later, they still space the garbage cans out strategically so that you will have a garbage can the minute that you need one.
That's definite strategy, right? And if there is any garbage, it does attract rodents. So actually, Disney has these cats on staff, if you will. Now, this particular article says the park unleashes a legion of cats that it uses to keep things clean. So, of course, at night, they come out at night after everybody's gone and leaves the park, and they get mice or rats or any kind of rodents that might be around.
Whose job is it to collect the cats the next morning, though? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's a good point.
Who's the cat rustler?
And then along with that same, point about garbage and just leaving stuff around, ashes, like human ashes, this has become a big deal. They don't want
from a cigarette or from...
No, like you want to
You have
take
grandma's
your
ashes?
mom's urn urn in and spread your ashes around Disney World.
That's a thing at Disney
This
World?
is a sentimental place for your mom. Your mom loved this place, and I want to spread the ashes. They say no. Well, first of all, they won't let you in with an urn, so you'll have to take it in a bag if you want to. But they said if you are found to be spreading ashes, it will get you a lifetime ban from Disney World.
Okay, here's a tip.
They're serious about
I got a
this.
tip. If you want to spread the ashes, just flail the bag around during the Space Mountain ride because nobody can see it. It's really dark in there.
Don't.
I'm just saying it's just a tip. All right, so these are some more things. This is the reason that Disney has jacked their prices up. It's very expensive to continue to produce magic.
That's
This
right.
is true. Disney has planned out every single detail of the rides, rooms, and meals, but also they thought about flooring, walls, everything. Designers think that the colors on the park are essential for getting people to do one thing, and that is take pictures.
Take selfies.
Pictures in general.
Take pictures, yeah.
So pictures create a couple of things. One, nostalgia to return one day because you've got a picture of you and the kids, right? And then the free advertising that social media causes when you put these pictures out there. So the designers walk around the park and they go look at it from every angle to make sure that the property is photogenic for every single possible way. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
and they
that
pay
is.
people to do that, and that's expensive.
Well, you touched on this just a second ago. I don't know if we discussed it more, but like you talked about the smells and the sounds and of making it of actual magic. All those smells are not just your imagination. So Disney has installed special smell pumps to constantly send the smells your way. So whether it's food, whether it's just something that triggers some nostalgia, and also the things that you hear. So if it's not an accident that you're hearing cloppy horse feet when you're on Main Street. So these are
It's
pumped
subtle,
in.
but it's there.
Very subtle, but these sounds are pumped in, so you're hearing it constantly.
And if you've been to Disney, of course, one of the big things is they have these castles, right? Lots of Disney movies have castles in them, and you see the castles on the property, and they look like these big, enormous castles, but actually they're designed with optical illusion. So the castles, when you actually measure them, are not very big as far as castles go, but the bricks that they use on the lower portions of the castle construction are larger than the bricks that they use on the higher parts of the construction. So it just creates this illusion that the castles are huge, but they're actually not.
Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, and I did notice that when we went. But I do have to make one more. I think I have to correct myself as far as like the cloppy horse feet. They actually don't send in the cloppy horse feet. They actually fit their horses to enhance the sound of their steps.
Special horseshoes.
Yeah, special horseshoes.
Right.
That's why you hear them so loud.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that are done to influence your imagination at Disney. And again, these are they're not like throwing this stuff together. They have designers that they pay, in both visual, in oral, and in cuisine. All of that stuff is highly paid individuals to make sure that when you leave Disney, you went, that was amazing.
So Disney World located in Orlando, which is always hot and humid during the summer season. So what happens when it's hot and humid wherever you are? The mosquitoes come out. Nope, not at Magic Kingdom.
What?
As it turns out, so Disney World, it says here, rejected pesticides as a solution, but they came up with something else. Apparently, they use liquid garlic to keep mosquitoes out. Mosquitoes hate this stuff, and they made sure to use just the right amount so that you don't notice as a customer, as somebody just spending time there, but the bugs do, and so the mosquitoes stay away.
Why aren't I using liquid garlic on my deck?
I don't
How
know.
do I
think
do
we're
that?
going to have to try to
I got to
figure
hire a
this out.
Disney designer
It's
now.
Genius.
So these are some reasons that it's so expensive to go to Disney because magic ain't cheap. And you can figure out how to get rid of mosquitoes, but you can never figure out how to get rid of a few rowdy tourists who ruin it for everybody else. So here's a couple things Disney does. If you're in line to get a hot dog and the person behind you in the bad Hawaiian shirt and stupid-looking hat with sunscreen smeared on his nose is looking around, that's because he's probably Disney security. They have Disney security all over the park disguised as ordinary-looking tourists just waiting to bust you if you do something bad.
So be on your best behavior, of course.
But if you're not, you know what actually happens at Disney? And this is something that a lot of people don't know. Disney has a jail.
On-site jail.
Yes. And it's Disney, so it might be a dungeon, but it's but they actually have a full jail on site to drop you into if you are not, treating the park the Disney way.
Or you're caught stealing from one of their, parks or
Right.
their park stores, or you're just not acting right, or you're doing something that they don't want you to do in their parks.
And here's the worst part about it. If you go to Disney jail, you can only choose lawyers from the Disney lineup. So you got Goofy, you got Dopey. That's all you got. And Pluto. You can use Pluto, but he can't speak. So I don't know what you're going to do there, but it could be rough.
Okay.
Honey, I'm stuck in Disney jail. That's fine. Why don't you call Tinkerbell and have you bail you out?
There you go.
Listen, it's expensive to go to Disney, but the magic is real. And, maybe it's a place that you can still go and find a little magic on this earth that it's manufactured magic, but it's magic nonetheless.
There you go.
That's kind of cool. And we'll talk about some more magic at some point in time, because if you keep listening,
We'll keep talking.
see you next time.